So whenever you're building a website, there's 3 things I want you to consider that will help set you up to be able to grow faster and to build a CMS that can actually improve the way your team work. You see, recently I worked on a project where we wanted to launch some new landing pages to experiment and help drive leads into this actual digital product for a fintech company that I was working with. And what happened is that I designed the landing pages about 2 months prior to the team saying that they were going to release the actual landing pages. Now, these were only 2 specific landing pages, no more than about 3 to 4 different sections. It's roughly a day to 2 days work, if that. Now, what happened is that because that one actual release was in a release of new actual websites to work on, because the company had 3 different websites that were all part of a big migration happening, as well as new designs for these websites as well. This actual landing page took 2.5 months to be released. And that's because it sat in a backlog of all these additional tasks that were seen to be as much more higher priority. Whereas for me, my priority was just to get these 2 landing pages ready so that we can start experimenting and generating leads into the business. You see, when you don't have the right system in place, simple tasks that can have massive impact, even financial impact on a business, can actually slow the process of lead generation and flow and releases down. I'm going to talk to you about that today. So this growth website system is a system I developed from dealing with these challenges over the years that can actually help improve the lead flow into the team because you're able to release faster. The second thing is you can stop slow releases because you can make changes quicker and you give teams the ability to do that. And the third thing it does is that it helps solve the control challenges that teams have because they're always having to wait on others to be able to make the changes they need and to be able to do the work they need to make impact on the business. And this website, this website, growth website system helps to decrease frustration of team members. It helps to decrease anxiety and also any form of helplessness or not able to even know what to do going forward. So I'm going to show you the 3 things that I focus on. The first thing is growth. Is the number one thing that I'm focused on. Like, how is this team set up for growth? And after this, I'm going to show you a 6-step system to be able to make that work. The next thing I look at is speed. How is the team set up for speed? Are we able to move quickly? Are we able to make the changes that we need whenever we need it? And also, what's the performance of the website like? And the performance of the product? And how can we make improvements? And the last thing is autonomy, which is super important. Is like, who are we actually needing to go to make changes? Can we make changes isolated as a team as well? Now, if you're set up for growth, this means that you're thinking about scalability. And if you were to have an influx of new customers, for example, how would that affect your ability to grow? So this now is the thing that you're working on because you're trying to make sure that in between growth and performance, in other words, growth and speed, performance is not impacted, okay? And this is why when it comes into full performance, we're looking at the processes internally in the team that could be improved to make the performance better. We're looking at the technical aspects to our website. How is the performance of our website? Do we have slow loading speeds, etc.? Or are there pages that need to be improved from a search engine optimization standpoint and technical SEO? Whatever it may be, what can we do to improve performance? The next thing that we're doing is we're looking at dependency. This is dependency. Sorry, guys, almost didn't spell it right. Dependency is so important. Like I told you, that project that took 2.5 months just to launch simple landing pages was because we were dependent upon these engineers to migrate the site to a new hosting platform. Once it was on that platform, they had to integrate with the Webflow CMS, which is a CMS they were using. And then also we had to still wait on these engineers to make the changes on the site because they were the gatekeepers for this site as well, without having autonomy internally to allow myself or anyone else to be able to make changes who are more than capable to do that task. This is something that we're trying to decrease as much as possible. Give teams the autonomy, so the difference between autonomy and low collaboration is we're actually increasing collaboration because we're reducing frustration, anxiety, and stress on other teams, and we're making sure our teams are autonomous in areas that they can impact directly for them to do the work that they need. The next thing that we do is we are focused between growth and autonomy. We're focusing on agility. This is super important, right? To make the team more agile so they can do experimentation, so they can make changes Sorry, guys. So they can make changes. They can experiment faster. They can see what needs to be done to different parts of the website to be able to make changes. Why? Because our goal is to get more customers into the business and increase sales. Now, the key thing that you're doing, I mentioned it before, I'm going to write it down so it's super clear, is that we're impacting 3 areas. We're making sure that if there's any performance challenges around lead flow, as a team, how can we impact that to make sure that there's more leads coming into the business and there's no dead ends, there's nothing blocking us from generating leads. The second thing internally is we're making sure that we're not having any slow releases. Are there any processes in the business that's affecting us to be able to release and release quickly? And the third thing we're doing is making sure that there's no lack of control, right? Meaning that we are autonomous enough to be able to make the changes when we need to make those changes for our team as well. Now, there's 6 things that you need to look at when you are thinking about your CMS and your processes internally to be able to help you to be set up to have a growth for website system. Now, those 6 stages are this. The first thing you're looking at is scalability, like I mentioned. If we were to make changes and we had an influx of leads, are we set up for scalability? Do we have the processes in place to help us scale? The next thing you're looking at is security. Is what we're doing, let's say we get more customers, are we going to be able to keep our existing customers and any potential new customers secure? Are we able to keep the business secure as a result of not only this new CMS, but also because of our processes internally? Especially when you work in fintech like myself, you have high risk factors that you need to consider when you're working in certain types of industries. And as a result, security is the big thing. The third thing that I'm looking at is integrations. Can the engineering team be empowered to make integrations and adaptations for our site to work for us very quickly? Is it quite straightforward? This normally, most CMSs can allow this to happen quite easily, but the integrations piece is a massive consideration. So you need to be speaking to your engineers to make sure that this is of no concern. The next thing around this is education. What do I mean? Does this platform or the CMS platform that we're installing, does it give us the education to make changes and onboard and educate team members to be able to independently be self-paced in the education and learning and have the truest, newest changes to the site or changes to the CMS and learn the features and etc. that can empower them to make changes much faster? That's very important. The next thing around this is budget. Now, do you have the budget in place? I've worked on CMSs that are from 50,000 a year to 100,000 a year. So it really is like, is the budget in place for you to be able to make the changes that you need and install this into the organization with the right education provided? And the last thing is support. Support is super essential. Do they have what we call a TAM, a technical account manager, on the side of the actual supplier to be able to support us when we are making changes using their CMS that could be very challenging, or our team internally do not have the resources or the people to know how to make these changes? So this 6-step system is allowing you to be able to be very clear as to what changes you need to know and understand what key things you need to know. What I call this the growth website system, but specifically this is the prioritization framework. So you know what priorities, process-wise internally, what priorities you're looking at from a CMS. All of these are key priorities to be able to help you make changes. For those that don't know, when we say CMS, we're talking content management system. That's your Webflow, your WordPress, your Contentful, etc. This is what we use, and my CMS of choice is Webflow. I've been using it for almost 6 years now, at enterprise level, right the way through to small startup businesses. This is the CMS of choice that I've used, and I swear by. At the moment, it's the best on the market. Who knows, in the next couple of years that might change, but right now, these are the big boys, and they're very, very well coming at competitive prices, high security, high speed. Performance is a big thing for them. I've spoken to the team and the sales reps there. Very, very powerful company. So I say all of this to say, when you actually have the right growth website system in place, there's some key things that you actually solve. You decrease frustration. If there's any form of anxiety, this starts to go inside of the team. And if there's any form of helplessness, then this now starts to get changed. Why? Because the team become more controlled and have more control. The releases happen a lot faster, so the team are less anxious because they're not able to experiment fast enough. and the lead flow starts to increase, so it decreases any frustration from your higher ups or lower or anyone in the organization. There's any frustration around that frustration starts to get beat. Why? Because you've got a growth website system in place that improves the processes and flow in these specific areas. Now, if you'd love to know more about how I can help you implement the growth website system into your business, then just look below in the description blocks and click on a link for us to have a phone call together. And I'd love to chat to you. And if you've got any form of value from this video, I'd love for you to just click a like button and click on the subscribe to learn more. And also in the comments, just let me know what's the one thing that you're going to work on improving in your business, the one thing that you're going to think about improving, you design for growth, speed, or autonomy, etc. Let me know in the comments below. Let's start the conversation. And if there's anything you'd love for me to know, to help you with, just ask me a question and I'll gladly give you a response today. So thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Leif Wallace and I'm here to help you install a growth website system into your business and help you really improve in these areas. So thank you so much for today. Have a great day. Look after yourselves and take care. Bye-bye.